Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. It's Amanda, even though you can't see me. It's Amanda Ellis. And I just wasn't in the mood to come on and show my face today. You get days like that, don't you? I'm a Cancerian, and some days we just want to sort of retreat into our shell a little bit, and that's okay. But I did want to speak to you all and say hello. Haven't done a video for a week because life's just been busy, guys. It's been so busy. It's also been half term, so my children have been off school. But also there's just been some difficult stuff going on. My mum's still quite unwell, and it is what it is. I wanted to come on, and I'm not actually sure what I'm going to do. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm not sure what I'm doing. But I know that I need to sit here and do something. So I've actually just got some cards sitting here. So shall I just pull a couple of cards? And let's just ask for some messages to come through. So that one falls out of the pack to start with. And how interesting. On the bottom of the pack, we have the Chariot card, which is very much to do with movement forward. And then we've got the Knight of Pentacles, which is very much linked into slow movement forward. It is movement, but it's not necessarily fast movement. So there is this sort of push-pull energy that is going on. On one hand, we're wanting to race ahead. On the other hand, we're being asked to make slow and steady progress. And now I realise what it is that Metatron wants me to talk about today, which is this picture. I wasn't sure if I was going to do this video today, but it looks like I am. So this image was taken, or this photograph was taken, I believe, maybe the start of this week. It was in the papers, and it shows Mount Everest. It shows the summit of Mount Everest. And what we have is basically a queue of people stretching as far as the eye can see, queuing for 2 hours to reach the summit of Everest. And on May the 29th, which is only a couple of days ago, I think it was in 1953, I might be a few years out in that, but it's certainly in the 50s, May the 29th was the anniversary of the first person to try to ascend the mountain. Roll forward a number of decades, and we are faced with this energy, which is many people trying to reach the summit, and some of them dying actually in the process. Why this picture was in the news is that there have been, I hope it isn't more now, but certainly as of the start of this week, there were, let me keep the picture up actually, there have been 11 deaths basically, 11 deaths in 10 days, people who died trying to reach the summit. And I thought to myself, okay, there is great message in that. First thing to say, of course, is rest in peace to the people that perished trying to get to the top. It's very easy to sort of sometimes criticise and think, well, why are they doing it? Is it an ego-led thing? They're putting other people's lives at risk. Rescue services then have to try and get the body off the mountain, although I think a lot of the times they don't. They just leave the body where it lies. In fact, some of these people queuing, there is another photograph that shows them queuing and there's just a dead body lying in the snow beside them. But yet still they wanted to get to the summit. But I also know that, of course, the people at the bottom of the mountain rely a lot on the trade and the money that comes in from people like this climbing Mount Everest. And certainly within my family, I know somebody who's visited that area and in fact became friends with one of the Sherpas, and very clearly they were needing the money from the climbers. I believe there was a big earthquake that happened a few years ago, and or there was something that happened where Everest wasn't able to be climbed for a while, and they were really suffering. The people were really suffering who were living around the mountain. So it's never clear cut. It's never just black and white. It's always complex. But why I want to talk about this picture today is I think there is a lot of teaching for us at the moment, and it very much links into these two cards, the Chariot and the Knight of Pentacles. The Chariot would be the energy which is just charging as quickly as you can to the top. The Knight of Pentacles would be the one who says, actually, no, let's just make slow and steady progress and get there safely. And actually, even if we don't reach the summit, does it actually matter? Because the journey is actually what it's all about. I've called this video Summit Fever, because I think what happens is that certainly with this type of scenario, people almost slightly lose their mind, or their judgment would be a better way to put it. And it's about, we have to get to the summit at all costs. Well, when you actually then have to sacrifice your life to get there, that's quite a high cost to make. But yet, in many ways, we're all trying to climb the mountain, aren't we? We're all trying to climb the mountain in a different way, not necessarily Everest, but our own personal mountain, our own personal challenge, our own personal goals, our own personal ambitions, our own personal life mission as well. There is always a mountain of some description in front of us in our life. And that might take the form of difficult relationships. It might take the form of a business. It might take the form of a responsibility or a duty. It could be all of those. It could be anything. But it's really about, in a way, the mountain stands for our life. And how do we try to, A, reach the highest state that we can in our life, in terms of spirituality maybe, but also in other ways as well. But it's also about, what are we going to do? What's the journey going to be like to help us get to the top, whatever it is that we're wanting to reach in life? How do we do it? Do we do it ethically? Do we do it with a good moral compass? Do we do it showing the best of ourselves? Or do we do it in a way which either diminishes other people, diminishes ourselves, diminishes the planet maybe, and other criteria? So I feel that right now, what's going on Everest is really trying to teach us something. Certainly this year, I have to say that this has been, I think probably it's been the most pivotal year in my life, certainly so far, where I've really had to take a step back and look at how much I do, when I do, and what I do. And for somebody that grew up with Saturn on their midheaven, and indeed, of course, it's still there, I've got a very strong Saturn energy in my chart, which is very much about working hard, keeping on climbing, just keeping on climbing, basically. A lot of hard work and dedication. And for the first time this year, it was almost as though I was asked by Spirit, by my guides, to take a step back and think, actually, whereabouts on the mountain do you need to get to in this life? Does it have to be to the absolute pinnacle? Does it have to be to that summit? And even if you wanted to do that, I'm not even sure I do, but even if I wanted to do that, are you prepared to sacrifice what is required to get you there? And I took a good hard look at myself and at my life, and I thought, actually, no, I don't necessarily want to sacrifice what is required to get to the absolute pinnacle. Because actually where I may be needing to settle, whether it's just this year, whether it's for the next decade, maybe somewhere else upon the mountain. And what mustn't happen is we mustn't get summit fever at all costs, to keep on striving at the expense of, it may be our health, it may be our relationships, it may be our mental health. It could be many, many different things, and it's going to be different scenarios for all of you. But I think by me sharing what I've just shared, I suspect that many of you can probably relate to it. So certainly I've turned down some very good opportunities at the start of this year. including ones that I'm a little bit sad about, but which I know at the moment, with everything else on my plate, I can't fulfill to the best of my potential. One of them was an invitation to go to Japan next year. And the thing is, when an amazing opportunity comes in, but you know with everything else that you're juggling, you just can't do it. What you have to trust is that when Spirit presents an opportunity to you, that opportunity will come back, if it's meant to, at a different time, in a different way, in a different manner, at a time when you can do it, and it's as though divine timing will be at play. But I feel a lot of us are being presented with opportunities to maybe keep on moving upward in some way, but it's as though we're being asked to just take a step back and think, is it the right thing for me now? Because all we actually have is the present moment. All we have is now. And if it doesn't work now, then it's about allowing yourself to pause. And this is actually quite an unusual message to come through, really, from me, maybe, and particularly from Archangel Metatron, who's my guide and who oversees everything, really, that I do and say. Because Metatron is always an energy which is about getting you out of comfort zone, moving you forward. The chariot itself always feels a very Metatronic energy to me, charging ahead, but not at the expense of ourself, and certainly not at the expense of others, and certainly also not at the expense of the environment. If we look here at Everest, I mean, look what they're doing here to this amazingly beautiful, majestic mountain. It's littered with tents that are never taken back down. It's littered with human excrement. It's littered with all sorts of things. It's also littered with dead bodies, and Everest herself has an energy which is vital for the planet. How many times, if you watch me regularly, have I been talking about the air elemental over the last few months? Well, as you get towards the summit of Everest, of course, the air quality goes down, oxygen levels plummet. But yet everybody is striving to get there to the top, even depriving themselves of the oxygen that they need to be able to survive that higher place. This is also linked into our spiritual need to keep climbing higher the whole time. And sometimes, again, this is about sometimes just taking stock from that. And I say that as somebody who is on YouTube, who is introducing new energies to my channel, not necessarily to you, but new energies. And that's going to carry on happening. I've got some amazingly new aura sprays that we're going to be producing in literally the next few weeks. Mother Mary in particular is coming forward, and also Ashtar. Ashtar is coming. It's so exciting. So it's not about don't try to go higher and do and experience different realities and different dimensions, because that's very much the purpose of life. That's what Metatron teaches. But do it in a steady way. Do it in a way that's grounded. Do it in a way that's real. Do it in a way that's authentic. Do it in a way that's timed rightly for you. It's also, you may have noticed this yourself sometimes. Maybe you've been thinking about doing training or reading a certain book or watching a certain film. I'm talking spiritual things here. And then for whatever reason, it's as though you keep putting the book down, or you delay seeing the film, or you postpone the course that you know ultimately you want to do. Well, that's actually, in many ways, very much about honouring the truth that sits within you, which is at that time it might not be right. So this feels as though Metatron is trying to say to us, let's expand, let's explore these amazing ascension energies that are coming in, but let's do it in a steady way, in a grounded way. And in that way, we can also integrate, we can process, we can truly learn what it is we're meant to learn from each of those individual energies. Sorry, my door just opened and closed. interesting analogy in itself. It was probably just my daughter coming into my new room, but anyway, let me just think about that. The door opened and then it closed. Okay, but then it will open again. That's sort of the message, isn't it, that I've just been saying. There's no such thing as, okay, Metatron's also saying it's the analogy of when one door closes, another door will open. So much in life, we think, if I say no, if I turn back and decide, actually, I'm not going to risk my life, because actually this looks very dangerous. This is 2 hours queuing on a mountain slope where there are sheer drops either side, or certainly one side, but I'm going to keep doing it. No, I have a decision. I can turn around and do something else. There will be another opportunity, not necessarily to climb that particular mountain, but to be able to scale another height in another area of life. So let's pull a few more cards now and let's just see where else we go with this message. Okay, so I just feel also as though Everest herself is really drawing attention to her energy. I actually feel it's almost like a bit of a cry for help, that she is being trampled upon. And I firmly believe that there are some places in our world, in our universe, that are meant to be remote, and are remote for a reason. They are doing a job. They're doing a job. And actually, I've just been reminded of something, because when I just did a tiny little bit of research on Everest, and one of the things I didn't know, which you might not know either, is that the summit of Mount Everest, there is a line that crosses it, which is a borderline between Nepal and China. I think I'm right in saying that. Where are my notes? Wrote them down somewhere. But anyway, yeah, I'm sure I'm right in that. You can Google it yourself. So the summit of Everest has a boundary line, basically, which is the boundary line between China and Nepal. So if you trace the line at the summit, it also leads to the boundary line between China and Nepal. So there's work that's being done here. If you think about the difference between Nepal and the difference between China, two completely different ideologies. Where are we at in our ascension journey? We're trying to bridge many different things, whether they be ideologies, cultures. It's about trying to understand each other. And so therefore this summit needs to be clear. It doesn't need to be as busy as all this. It's already doing a job that's really important. So I feel that really strongly. I hope I'm wrong, but I wouldn't be surprised if Mother Nature might just think, I've had enough of it, and do something to stop this invasion of a very important portal, which is meant to be clear. It's not meant to look like that with hours worth of people going up, coming down, leaving their debris. I feel that so strongly. Okay, let's pull a few other cards, not necessarily on the same message. Let's just have a look now at some cards for June, really. We're the day before June 2019. This is the After Tarot deck, by the way. Felt I wanted to use this deck. So let's just have some messages, please. Archangel Metatron, let's just use the spray. Flame orange. Let's have some messages for June. Let's have 3 cards. Three cards for June. The Sun, the 10 of Pentacles, and the Star. Well, that's quite nice. That's very nice, in fact. The Star is the card of hope. Pull the camera in a bit more. It's the card of hope. Can you see the cards? Hopefully you can. The Sun, obviously, a beautiful energy of light and illumination. This to me, the Ten of Pentacles to me, I always feel as though it's got an energy of inheritance linked to it. And not necessarily money, although it can be. I feel this is more about inheritance in terms of, well, it's happened actually today. I can't say who it is, but I just heard from somebody I know who's just had an amazing opportunity presented to them. And actually, as I'm thinking about it, I've just said to her the guidance that's just come through with these cards, because it was like it's an amazing opportunity. And I've just said to my friend, yeah, take it, but take it on your terms. Take it in a manner which is going to work for you. And this is what this feels like. It's as though this feels like it's a card of karmic rewards. It's a card of harvest. It's a card of what have you inherited. So it feels as though June's energy is very linked into past energies coming up. I don't even want to say to be cleared. I want to say to be dealt with. So in terms of an opportunity, fantastic, take it if it works for you. But I'm also feeling as though there are some healing energies around. I'm certainly feeling that in my own life. And it's as though a number of different scenarios and situations that have been ongoing for years suddenly are here to be dealt with. Think about an inheritance when you get an inheritance. Let's just talk about it in terms of money now, okay? So say you suddenly inherited money. How would you cope with that? Would you distribute it fairly? Would you behave well? Would it bring out a lower energy within you? Money can do that. That's why families can fall apart, that type of thing, when money is involved. But it's not just money here. This could be anything. As I say, it also links into healing energies that are needed in June. It's as though there's do you know what I'm feeling? I'm struggling a little bit here because I've noticed over the last week or so that I feel things that were meant to happen maybe even a year ago, particularly a year ago, last summer, June, July of 2018, feels as though they're coming back around to be properly dealt with. And I don't know why there seems to be this energy where some things were meant to have cleared up a year ago but didn't, and now they're coming back. But I'm feeling that really strongly. And it feels as though this can work on multiple levels. It could be that what you wished for a year ago, i.e. the star card, what you hoped for, what you wished for, what you dreamed for, may very well be coming back to you. Again, what do you do with that? Do you rush at it like a bull in a china shop, which is what the Chariot would do? Or do you make more slow, steady progress and, you know, receive the blessing, receive the wish, thank you very much, but equally do it in your own way, you know, deal with it in your own way. So hopes and dreams may be coming back from a year ago. But I also feel, I mean, from my own perspective, it feels more as though it's stuff just to be dealt with, stuff that didn't really get sorted last year that now has to be looked at. And the sun is shining on that situation. There are thousands of you that watch these videos, and thank you very much. So there can't be just one, you know, general strand of information. It can go many different ways. But certainly this card, the 10 of Pentacles, to me feels as though it's about, let me just turn it around the right way so I can see it. Hold on a minute, guys. Let me have one more card to go with the 10 of Pentacles. Over and above what I've just said. I'm going to keep this way. I don't know how these readers do all these sessions where the cards are pointing your way, because I find it quite hard to do it when they're upside down. That's just me. Right, 10 of Pentacles, Metatron. Let's just have one more clarifier, please. Over and above what I've already said, is there any other message? I feel there's another message with that. 10 of Pentacles. The Fool. Yeah. Yeah, there is a new start coming. Can you see that? The 10 is the completion of something, and then the Fool is the start of a new journey. Wow. Okay. Well, that's brilliant. That's a lovely message, actually, that's coming through there. Okay. He's saying you're ready now for the journey, that for some people watching this, you thought you were going to start a year ago, but for whatever reason, it just didn't happen. But I'm feeling there was like a divine timing at play here. That's why it didn't happen. What was I just saying earlier? Opportunities come back. Healing comes back. Everything comes back round in a circle. So if something hasn't been dealt with from a year ago, it's coming back round, and the start that potentially could have happened a year ago is coming back. I'm wanting to say June and July for this, though. June and July. Picking up the energy of the little dogs here. There's a lot of white animals, isn't there, within these cards that we've got here. We've got a white dog there. We've got a white dog here. We've got 2 white bulls by the look of it there. And there's a white, I'm not sure what that's supposed to be, but just a lot of white imagery. What does that mean? Well, white is an energy that links into purity. But I'm also hearing, of course, because it's linked into animals, animals to me link into the energy of the earth. So I'm feeling as though it's about grounded purity. Oh, okay. Let's go back to this picture of the mountain. This mountain is the epitome of grounded purity upon our planet. Of course, it's got the energy of earth. It's a mountain, but there's such purity within this beautiful, majestic mountain. And I don't like what's happening to her. I don't like this energy. It feels wrong somehow. So why are so many wanting to climb up here and reach here? And let's remember, this is an analogy for you and your life, the mountain in your life. Is there some ego that comes in? I think so. At all costs, I have to get there and I have to plant my flag. I have to show that I've done it. Not for everybody, I'm not saying that. But I'm wanting now to just talk a little bit about ego. This thing about why are you trying to achieve, why are you trying to achieve what you're trying to achieve? Why are you striving so hard? It's almost like, again, rain check coming in from Metatron, who's saying the opportunities that want to come in, they're going to come back to the people who are wanting the opportunities from the right place. It's coming from the heart. Maybe it's because you truly want to serve, or you truly want to help. Maybe you work for a charity, or maybe you just work for a company that's got good ethics. Or maybe you have a vision for where you want to take a company, and it's actually going to help a lot of people. So there's something here about the battle between what our ego wants and what spirit feels is right to give us based on our heart's desires. Okay? Let's pull some other cards now from another deck. What deck is this? This is the Energy Oracle cards by Sandra and Taylor. Okay? Let's just see what message we get. So, June 2019. June 2019. What other messages do we have here, Metatron, please? June 2019. Caring connections. Yeah, it feels as though the spotlight is on family. The spotlight's on family. The spotlight's on relationships. And I think certainly this whole energy that I've been talking about in this reading, success can't come, or achievement can't come at the expense of losing human touch, worthwhile relationships, and I'm only struggling because there's some things that I sort of feel would help here that didn't really want to share, but I will share. So as an example, just to make this, so you understand where I'm coming from here. So for me, one of the reasons I'm having to pull back a little bit with opportunities and work that wants to come in is because, as you know, my mum is unwell. And so I'm having to put more attention into that relationship, looking after her. It doesn't have to be a man and a woman. This can be parent and child. This can be two friends. It can be, in fact, I know somebody who's watching this who's got a very ill friend at the moment. And so sometimes things just have to wait. And when you stop and you take time out for the things that truly matter, i.e. people, then no opportunity is just going to not come back to you. It's okay to stop is what I wanted to say. I wanted to do that. It's okay to stop and just say, for now, this is what's important. Whether this be a mother, whether this be a father, whether it be your child, whether it be your friend, whether it be your husband, your wife, whatever. It feels as though the spotlight in June is going to be on our relationships, on our family, on our friendships. And so therefore, this climbing to the top at all expense, be it in any area of life, it doesn't just have to be career, it could be sport is another good example, you know. I know people who have been great sportsmen in their time and they have to sacrifice an awful lot. They have to sacrifice a lot. They have to sacrifice this a lot of the time to really succeed at the absolute highest level that they can. And it just feels as though June is a month where we can't do that. Okay, so whatever it is you're trying to excel, it's like just put the brakes on a little bit. Caring connections are coming in. Let's see what else. Let's have another 2 cards from this deck. Let's put that. I want to put the card of caring connections next to the card of the Fool, because it's as though the new start and the wish that comes back, this has to be taken into consideration. Okay, let's see what else we get. 2 more cards, please, Metatron. I also feel that part of this energy that I'm tapping into now is about, it's also fine to show other sides of who you are. I mean, I'm doing that now. You're not seeing my face because I don't feel like showing you my face today. You know, I just don't. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm not ill. There's nothing. This is just another side of me. Sometimes I can be quieter. Sometimes I can be more withdrawn. Sometimes I want to go into my shell, but I'm still here. I'm still me. And so there's something coming through for June, which is it's okay to show other sides of you. You don't always have to be what people expect you to be. You know, shake things up a bit, show other sides to your personality and your being, and honour that. Honour who you are in every single moment. 2 more cards. Wow, I'm doing a Windows update on my computer down there. It's taken an hour to do a 20% update. You see, even that, there's a message in that as I'm saying that to you. Think about that. Think about the fact that it's taken an hour to do 20% of its upgrade that it needs to do. That isn't because we've got slow broadband here. We've got fast broadband. It's the same message. Can you see it's the same message? We do the same thing when we go through spiritual upgrades or portals or gateways. We all want to rush through, and then we want to rush through. We want to get the benefits, feel better, have a better connection to spirit, or whatever else we're wanting to happen. And it's saying slow down. If that update takes the whole day to do, it's going to take the whole day to do, and it will mean that some of my emails don't get sent today. Well, the world isn't going to end. You know, they can be sent tonight. It's the same thing. Slow down. The thinking man is on the bottom of the pack. Use your head a little bit, okay? Use your head. Right. That's interesting, actually. Oh, look, can you see that? I just shuffled the cards again and he came back on the bottom of the pack again. Because I was like, I thought, oh no, I've lost him and there was something else I wanted to say. Let's pull him out because he's one of the 3 cards. The thinking man. Let's think about that. This picture, let's go back to it. Are these people queuing here, trying to get to the summit, are they really rationally thinking? No, otherwise 11 wouldn't have died in 10 days trying to get here. It's almost as though, I guess, they had a burning heart's desire to always get to the summit at any cost. That's the message that's coming through. Whereas the thinking man says, hold on, pause, use your mind here. Does it actually look safe? Does that look safe? You know, no part of that looks safe. So whatever the mountain is in your life, June is a month where we have to start to use our head a little bit more, okay? The heart, we are in the energy of the heart and the era of the heart, but we can't divorce the fact that we also have to think. I am actually being told to read the message that goes with this card. So let's do that. So it's the Thinking Man, card number 46. And of course, 6 and 4 make 10. 10 again, we've had elsewhere, 10 is the completion of something. So it's almost like, yeah, no, I won't say. Let me just read the message, actually. Read the message, Amanda. 46. It shows a man standing before an archway, gazing at a crystal in his hand. He is thoughtful and reflective, representing the potential presence of a teacher in your life now or about to arrive soon. This person may be there to educate you in the finer details of your chosen direction, or may be there to assist you in some specific spiritual, mental, or emotional pursuits. The card is telling you to pay attention, for this could lead to great strides in personal or professional growth. This man may also be a love interest coming your way, or perhaps just a new male friend. But be on the lookout for this guide in the physical world and be open to his information. Learn what you can. A new discipline, technique, course of study or healing practice could change your life forever. Well, there's a few different messages in that. Okay, so for some people, maybe there is a love interest on their way. But what I'm getting for that more than anything is I feel a new guide is on their way. For most of us watching, including myself. And that's quite an interesting subject to talk about, because when we talk about new guides coming in, we think, oh, but you know, what about the one that I've been working with up to now? Where are they going to go? They don't go anywhere. They stay with you. They absolutely stay with you. But you have to allow in room for the new. It's interesting because you can't see this yet, but I will show you in my next video. I've moved office and I'm now in a much bigger room, and I've put most of my paintings up on the wall, and at the moment I'm sitting behind the Metatron painting that you're used to seeing. And it was funny because I brought him in here and it was like, okay, he's got to be on the dominant wall, he's got to be right behind me. And then instantly I could feel, yeah, but there's a few other energies that I know also want to be there as well. But it's a human construct that is saying it can only be one. There are many guides I feel that are wanting to come through, and it feels as though the second half of this year there are some very powerful guides that want to come through. I mean, for me, I'm probably talking Ashtar, and I'm also talking, they're not new guides, but it's more about putting them back into the spotlight. I'm really talking about the energies of Christ, Mother Mary, and Mary Magdalene. So it's a real assortment of different energies. I must just show you something. I'm going to be a bit naughty here, but this book, as I've been clearing my room out, I've thrown some books away that I no longer need. And but anyway, I've kept the ones that I do. And I came across this book that I forgot that I had, and it's good old Doreen Virtue. And she would probably be appalled that I'm, even promoting this book now, because maybe it's not for sale any longer. But it was a book she did on archangels and ascended masters, and it's really good. And shall I just open it? Shall I just open it and see which guide wants to talk to us today? I think we'll do that, because that's what I feel this card is, the Thinking Man. So, okay, this is going to be difficult. I'm just going to do this and let's just see what we get. I'll try to not go for the well-thumbed page. Let's see which guide. Moses, how interesting. Moses. That actually doesn't surprise me too much. Moses is a guide that has tried to come through a few different times for me over the last, 5 years. And Wow. Okay. Think about the symbolism of Moses. Moses was the person that guided people to the promised land, who got God to part the waters so that they could travel from one old land to a new land. And as I say that, my brother has just texted to say he's on his train or home. He's on his journey home. Oh, bless him. So, and my brother's called Paul. I think there's something in that as well, because that's quite a biblical name as well. These guides from these guides wanting to come in more. So let's just see what's said here. Okay. Moses' life story is a testament to accepting a leadership role, even if you feel unsure or unqualified to perform that function. In the same way, Moses can help you step up to the plate and do the best job possible. Any time that you feel uncertain about your power or your abilities, call upon Moses. That's interesting, isn't it? And there's a little prayer here that she's written, and it says, "Beloved Moses, please lend me your courage and help me overcome fear and cast out doubt. I ask you to fill my heart with faith in my God-given abilities. Please guide my words and actions so that I may lead and guide others according to God's will." Okay. Well, we may very well come back to Moses, but it also says here he's very good for helping us with miracles. If you think about the Red Sea, I mean, my goodness, yeah, that was a bit of a miracle. So if you're trying to get from one place to another, you're trying to cross to whatever the promised land is in your life, you know, whatever it is that you've been hoping for, whatever the new start is, and you just somehow you can't get there, it's as though use your head as well as your heart. Make sure you're taking who you need to take with you. The analogy of the Red Sea, they took their families with them. Nobody was left that wasn't meant to journey on there, but they did it in it was divinely orchestrated. All of it was divinely orchestrated. I hope this is making sense, guys. It's making sense to me. The temple path is on the bottom of the deck, which is, it's like we're all on the journey towards this. We're all on the journey towards this beautiful place, the temple path. Let's have one more card on this deck. Oh, okay, the temple path. Right. How interesting that I was trying to skirt away from that card. Did you see the way that I was doing that? It was like I didn't really want to talk about it for some reason. And why didn't I want to talk about it? I didn't want to talk about it. Why didn't I want to talk about it? Hold on a minute, I just need to tune into this. Oh. When you get there, which is like final destination, then what? That's what I'm feeling. When you get to the summit, then what? When you get to the new start, then what? Then what? Then what happens, my friends, is I feel this is the place where we truly, truly have to look at ourselves. And maybe there's just been a natural inclination to not want to do that, to keep on pressing. That's why people press on. You know, it's the whole workaholic thing. Keep working, then I don't have to look at what's in here. Just keep going at all costs. Summit fever. Why do people get summit fever? I'm talking here generally. Because they don't really want to stop, pause, consider, reflect, heal, look at it. This is what this is asking us to do this June. Summer solstice, I'm being drawn to. Summer solstice is going to be very, very powerful this year. It feels like a defining moment in many of our lives. It's as though it's a point that we've all been walking towards for many years. for some reason, this particular summer solstice that's coming up feels bigger than others. And I don't know why, but it just feels like it's a moment of reckoning. But it's personal and it's collective. It's a point where we really have to look at ourselves. And that may be uncomfortable, but it needs to be done. Let's have one more card that goes with the temple path. Okay, patience. We've got the patience on the deck. Patience, which has also got a clock there, talking about time. Something in this whole reading about time. How precious it is. How we need to use it wisely. I mean, again, I just keep going back to this picture because they spent 2 hours queuing on this mountain and 11 of them died. Why? 2 hours spent in dangerous conditions because of summit fever. The temple path, Metatron. Is there another message with regard to the temple path? I'm feeling as though June is a month to literally we've got to feel into it. It's a complex month. Is it the month of Gemini? It is, isn't it? Well, we're in Gemini now, because I know that because my dad's just had his birthday and he's a Gemini. And I've got a friend who's a Gemini. She's at the start of June. It's Gemini. That's why this reading's a bit like, whoa, I'm not quite sure what's going on here. Because I was just saying it's a month where we've got to be feeling, but then we've got the card of thinking. It's just like, what is going on here? We've got the Chariot and we've got the Knight of Pentacles. We've got go fast, go slow, think, feel. We've got things coming back round from a year ago. Gemini. Gemini energy. The twins. Okay. One more card. Gemini energy. Show me why I'm picking up this Gemini energy so strongly. Why am I picking up the Gemini energy so strongly? What's that got to do with it? Obviously it's got a lot to do with it. I'm not dissing astrology. You know I'm a big fan of astrology, but I don't normally just zone in particularly on one particular zodiac sign, even if we're in the month of Aquarius or Leo or whatever. But Gemini, okay, Gemini. Oh, okay. Being able to see two sides to a situation. The opportunity that's presented, being able to see it from both angles. Yes, it's a good opportunity, but does it work for me? That type of thing. Two angles. Yes, I'm nearly at the peak of Everest. It might have taken me months to get the money to be there and all the rest of it. But if I stay here, I might perish. I might be that body that everybody else is walking beside. Two sides, mind and heart. Gemini energy. Just show me Gemini energy, please, Metatron. These cards have got a nice feel to them. And I like the blue. Blue is a great energy for the month, actually, because it's an energy which is about slow down. Slow down, you move too fast. I've sung that a few times in videos. It seems to keep coming back, that song. Archangel Michael is on the Blu-ray. I don't have his spray to hand. I'm going to go and get it. Okay. So I was just saying that the Blu-ray is very good for us for June. Archangel Michael is on the Blu-ray. We've got here, it's interesting actually, this set of cards puts Archangel Michael at the first chakra. Traditionally it's red actually, but anyway, Archangel Michael helping to heal energies around the first chakra, the base chakra. And I guess that makes sense because the base chakra, it's the life force energy. It's like a stop-start energy. It's Kundalini. It's like it's rising, it's not rising. I'm awake, I'm not awake. I'm motivated, I'm not. It's that sort of thing. So let's just bring Archangel Michael's energy in. Spray this myself. And let's just feel for a message from Michael. It's just this real steadiness that comes in with Michael's energy this month. Steadiness and peace, safety, security. Stillness within the blue ray. Stop, pause. Yeah. Okay, and then the other card that came out is Man Holding a Coin, card number 43. It's like a double male energy, isn't it? It's very pronounced masculine energy, actually, in these cards, looking at them. We have got a lady there in the star card, and there's a lady here in the card of caring connections, but I actually feel that the spotlight is on the divine masculine energies. I feel really drawn. One of the videos I want to do ASAP next week, I want to do a video for just for the men. I mean, obviously women can watch as well, but just really feeling this pull to help particularly men at this time on their spiritual paths. And just feels as though there's a mass awakening in the male psyche with regard to the ascension process. And this man holding a coin, what's his message? I've never really understood that card very well, and I know it's come up before, and I know some of you have told me the meaning of that particular coin, which isn't a coin, I know, but let's just see. Let me just have a quick look for you. Card 43 shows a man sitting in a flowering field holding a large bright coin. Could indicate an aspect of yourself and a readiness to further your goals and receive increased health, money or value in your life. It's a card which talks about greater success. Okay, well that makes sense. So if it's talking about, it's a card of greater success potentially being on its way, it comes in with Archangel Michael and the base chakra, which actually also talks about, have you got the energy for that? Okay, and if you haven't got the energy for it, or whatever the new job may be, as an example, or new relationship, or it could be a baby on the way, anything which needs energy basically, well, need to look at that, need to look at your tank, your energy levels, your battery. How do you fill it up? How do you make yourself feel more complete? Be that exercise, be that diet, be that anything else. Being around good stimulating company, good foods, and sunlight and all the rest of it. So this is as though, again, it's the same message. Success is wanting to come in, opportunities are wanting to come in, but you can only do it if the base chakra in particular is healthy and strong. And, the base chakra at the end of the day, it links into our health. It governs health, it governs the physical body. Are you on top form? If you're not on top form, with the summer months that are coming, needing to do something to mean that you are firing on all cylinders, basically. You're able to take the opportunity and run with it, and for that to be sustainable in the long run. That makes sense? Makes sense to me. Okay, I think that is probably it then for this video. I'm going to leave it there. I'll be back soon. Got a few other videos that are coming up. I want to be doing one on the armour of God. Those of you that follow my community page on YouTube, I put something up last week asking whether that would be helpful, and lots of you said yes please, so I will be doing that. And I'm not going to say what else actually. I'm just going to have a few other surprises next week when I'm fully back to it. Okay, much love for now. Hope that resonated, hope that helped, and sending you all much love. Bye bye for now.